Hey, good afternoon everybody, and welcome here to race number 8 of the NRSL T.G.I Fatal 4-Way Truck Series. Last week we ended up having a mile-and-a-half racetrack. We're back to Super Speedway racing here today for week number 8. 20 laps of racing at the debuting Tennessee Super Speedway. This is a track that we've never raced before in NSRE or NRSL competition on this channel. And so we're going to see just exactly what kind of racing we can expect to see if this track is ever used again in any future events. Starting on the pole position is going to be Gabriel Wanderley in the 14, who has just recently fallen, or not just recently fallen, or just recently moved up in the top 10 in the point standings, really making a big case for maybe trying to take the Drivers' Championship. Wanderley has moved his way all the way up now to the 5th position in the point standings, and is still looking for his first win of the season, but really has been consistent and is looking like one of the top contenders here in the last few weeks of this series. Starting off alongside of Gabriel Wanderley is going to be Wade Brummer in the 6th, who has not been having a great season and would love to go to victory lane to just try and finish out this season. I think that it's pretty safe to say that Wade Brummer's been having such a struggling season. The likelihood that he's going to be in the hunt for the Drivers' Championship slim to none, but qualifying up there for Team D along with teammate Jesse Turner, Charles Sanford will make up the remainder of row 2, and then Holden Gluba took the points lead back after last week's misfortune for James Qualls. Holds a 16-point advantage over James coming into this race and qualified well for today's event, starting off from the 5th position. Zach Rogers, our winner from last week, moved up to 4th in the point standings and will roll off from the 10th position. So we'll see how Zach Rogers does just coming off the victory as we'll look down at the remainder of the field. James Qualls going to have to do it all the way from 40th position here today. You got Dylan Young. He's starting off 36th. John Arndt starting 33rd. Austin LaPlante starting 28th. Those are some drivers that are inside the top 10 in the drivers' points coming into this race. As far as the team points are concerned, it's still a runaway for Team B, and Zach Rogers' win last week at Charlotte really helped that out. They have a 98-point advantage coming into today's race, almost 100 points. The big battle is on for second place. Team A is now fallen into the clutches of Team C, who are only 11 points behind Team A in team points. And then you've got Team D, who still is trying to get something going. It may be too little too late for that team. They struggled early. They've kind of been struggling late. I don't think there's much recovery time. They come into today's race 334 points out of the top position held by Team B. I think it's pretty safe to say they will not be winning the team championship unless something really drastic happened in the next 3 weeks. But anyway, we're getting ready to go racing. Let's go down and get the command to fire them up.
Drivers, start your engines.
For the points coming into this race, I already mentioned Holden Gluba is the points leader. Second place, James Qualls. Austin LaPlante, who's been really consistent in the last couple of weeks, he's moved up to 3rd. Zach Rogers, after his win last week, is up to 4th. Gabriel Wanderley, our pole sitter, is in 5th. Benjamin Miles is 6th in points. Dylan Young, 7th. 8th is now Kyle Matthews. John Arndt is in the 9th position in points. And completing the top 10 in points is Ryan Madden. As I look here at this field, you got Gabriel Wanderley starting up here near the front, as well as Holden Gluba, Kyle Matthews, and Ryan Madden. We'll see what they can do here to try and keep themselves in contention for this championship. It'll be 20 laps and caution free. I'm not familiar with what the best camera angles are at this track. Looks like maybe TV2 might be the best camera angle to be able to document this race that's going to go on here. Talladega, our last super speedway stop, played a big factor into the point standings. Will this super speedway, Tennessee, be able to do the same? What kind of racing can we expect to see? I think we'll get a pretty good idea within the first few laps of this event, as the pace truck peels off onto the pit lane. And Gabriel Wanderley for Team A, Wade Brummer for Team D will get us underway in our first debut race here at Tennessee. Race number 8 of the NRSL T.G.I.'s Fatal 4-Way Truck Series It's going to go green whenever the flagman decides we're going to go green. Which apparently is not yet. Still not yet. Still waiting. There we go. We're green flag racing here at Tennessee. Already they're fanning out 3 wide. 4 wide back there from about just the tail end of the top 10. And Jesse Turner will go to the inside and go for the lead. Wade Brummer, Jesse Turner. Wonder if those two talked about what they were going to do at the very beginning of this race. There's an interesting camera angle. Because Wade Brummer tucked right in line. Trouble back there. There goes Andrew Rich. Andrew Rich around. That's going to collect some other drivers. No, it's not. Just going to collect himself and Juan Hernandez. And James Richardson's going to lose the lead pack as a result of that. Oh, Holden Gluma went down on the apron. Almost came up at Emmett Juckham. That's your points leader in the 35 that nearly wrecked. Oh, they're wrecking. Someone's wrecking. I'm hearing some scraping. Good Lord, it's taking forever to get through the field. Here we go. Oh, Dylan Young's involved. Chris Dowd, Benjamin Miles. And I think that was the 19 of Richardson. It is. Armando Shazaz, Marty Johnson's coming to pit road. James Qualls, second in points. Sam Rogers on pit road as well. Manuel Hartnett lost the draft. And now with James Qualls coming to pit road, not sure if he's going to retire from the race or not, but that's good news for Holden Gluma. Gluba's going to keep the points lead, and Armando Shazaz is the first retiree of the day. Gluma still running up here in this lead pack. There's the smoke from the incident, and here comes Ryan Madden to the inside line. Team C has yet to go to victory lane here this season. All other 3 teams have been able to. Ryan Madden trying to pick up the first win for Team C. Nearly gets turned. Did get turned there by Emmett Juckham. Brings it back up the racetrack, though, and is still going to hang on in lead. There goes Kyle Keith off the nose of, I think that was Holden Gluma. And Keith spins it down into the grass area along the front straightaway. Going to get the car refired, perhaps? No, looks like the car stalled out on him. James Qualls coming back out on track, as is Sam Rogers, as is Marty Johnson. And Gluma, as a result of what happened, has lost a lot of ground, slipped all the way back to 17th, and I'm not exactly sure that's where he's running at the current moment. Oh, they're getting racy up here at the front pack again. Kyle Matthews is now out in front in the 00. And it looks like Matthews is going to come down and lead this lap unless Emmett Juckham can get him. Nope, here comes Ryan Madden up the middle, 4 wide with Charles Sanford. Matthews led that lap. Oh, Rocco Twyman thinking about 5 wide. Just wanted to let you know that if you're hearing some pauses in my commentary, it's because I am trying to clear out my nasal passages. I am still sick. There's Zach Rogers, last week's winner from Charlotte, trying to go 2 in a row, and Carson Gum, who's just trying to get the season turned back around, has been having horrible races the last few weeks. And Carson nearly got wrecked by JT Bryant. Oh, nearly gets wrecked again, and now gets get wrecked. There goes the 32, up into Tavian Alexander. And they're going to pile in. Matt McIntyre's in it. Oh, Holden Gluma, the points leader, squeezes through. Dallas McIntosh involved there along with Caleb Hoffman. And Tavian's bringing the 28 to pit road. Back up to the front. They're still racing hard. The new leader is Rocco Twyman. Last week, Rocco Twyman ended up breaking a record, not being dead last in points. Now it's James Shelley who's dead last in points. Rocco Twyman's 39th in the standings. Ooh, Johnny Gardner pushing Rocco Twyman. Kyle Matthews pushing fellow teammate Charles Sanford on the high side. And Emmett Juckham's going to make it 3 wide. Jesse Turner right there. Wade Brummer, Trek Togger. There's 4 drivers right there for Team D that are up here. Team C, however, only has 1 driver up in this lead group. That's Grayson Acavito in the 20. Let's check and see who's out of the race. And believe it or not, there's only 5 drivers that have officially retired, although 2 of them are going to have a huge impact to the points. James Richardson's out along with Armando Shazaz, but Dylan Young out in 38th, Benjamin Miles out in 39th. Dylan Young and Benjamin Miles came in 7th and 8th, make that 6th and 7th in the point standings. And also out of the race, Chris Dowd in the 08. Everybody else is still going. Holden Gluba last time by was scored 23rd. James Qualls scored 1 lap down in the 32nd position. Where's the 29 of Austin LaPlante? Where does he stack up in all this as Jesse Turner's gone to the lead? There's LaPlante right now scored in the 11th position, battling with Jake Baskinger. And we know that Zach Rogers is running well. Up in this lead pack right now, scored in the 6th position. What about the remainder of the top 5 in points? That would be the 14 of the pole sitter, Gabriel Wanderley, who right now is running in the 17th position. Trying to look for the 35 of Gluba. There he is. Running behind the lap machine, I believe, of Sam Rogers. Yes, indeed. 23rd place is where they're scoring the 35 right now. So right now, Holden Gluba is ahead of James Qualls. However, Zach Rogers, Austin LaPlante are both running awfully well. As Jesse Turner will lose the lead to teammate Trek Togger. So Jesse Turner's had a turn out in front. Trek Togger's going to try and lead a lap. And will do so at the line. Wade Brummer would also like to lead a lap here. Rocco Twyman's led a lap. So it's at least 3 drivers from Team D that have led a lap here. And they're 5 wide. Settled back out to 4 wide. As Charles Sanford will jump to the front. So at this current point in time, we have a total of 10 drivers up in this lead pack. They're quite a ways ahead of this second group, which is comprised of, I believe, 4 drivers. Austin LaPlante, Jake Baskinger, Austin Gipe, and Ryan Madden. Then you got Seth Cole and Jeffrey Finguy, along with Carson Gum, trying to work together. Gabriel Wanderley all by his lonesome. Then you got a group here with William Brock, John Art, JT Bryant, Marty Johnson, who I believe is a lap down, Matt McIntyre, and James Shelley. And there's Holden Gluba now going to the inside of his drafting partner, Sam Rogers. Sam Rogers that's not for position. Sam Rogers is a lap down. Caleb Hoffman, Dallas McIntosh trying to reel in. There's Zach Flickinger, who had a great run last week at Charlotte, finished runner-up to Zach Rogers, running 26th right now. Manuel Hartnett back at 27th. Andrew Rich and Juan Hernandez had to come to pit road after they both spun in the very early stages of this race. They're 31st, 32nd. James Qualls, they're 33rd. And back at the front, Kyle Matthews is leading this race. As I analyze this, you've got 4 drivers for Team D. You've got Twyman, Trek Togger, Jesse Turner, and Wade Brummer. For Team B, you've got 4 drivers. Juckum, Sanford, Kyle Matthews, and Zach Rogers. For Team C, you've only got 1 driver. That's Grayson Acavito. And for Team A, only 1 driver, and that is Johnny Gardner, who's trying to go for the lead now off of Kyle Matthews. They're going to encounter traffic very shortly. That's going to be the James Qualls machine. There's only 1 driver James Qualls can help in this lead group. That would be Johnny Gardner. But I don't know when they catch him. He may not be a factor at all. Juckum makes it 4 wide underneath Jesse Turner, Wade Brummer, and Charles Sanford. And they're catching to the 10. Where are they going to go? Someone's got to give. Ooh, Jesse Turner nearly ran him over. They made contact at the 84 and the 10. And now everybody's scattering, trying to find their way through as Emmett Juckum is going to lead that lap. Whoa, Kyle Matthews having trouble getting around James Qualls there. Has to try the high side and may lose this lead group as a result. Here comes LaPlante, Baskinger, Ryan Madden. They've lost Austin Gipe. They're trying to catch up here, try to take advantage of these drivers having a little bit of difficulty getting around the James Qualls machine as Charles Sanford out in front now, but here comes Jesse Turner to the inside. Grayson Acavito right there. Don't forget, Grayson ended up finishing top 5 at our season opener at Daytona at a super speedway. So running well here at this Super Speedway and diving to the inside for the top position. The only hope in this lead pack for Team C to get a victory. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Team C, the only team so far this season that has not had a driver find victory lane. And at the line, Trek Togger, Charles Sanford charging up the middle line. And Trek Togger led that lap. Slower car of Zach Flickinger is going to be in the way. And he's going to hold up Rocco Twyman. Looks like he held up Johnny Gardner as well. Flickinger is a Team A driver, and I think that's the last driver he wanted to hold up was the 54. As Trek Togger out in front. Acavito there battling with Charles Sanford for second. Jesse Turner there in fourth. And Zach Rogers now fifth. Gardner now sixth. Juckham seventh. Eighth, Kyle Matthews. Ninth, Wade Brummer. And Rocco Twyman there in 10th. Here comes Austin LaPlante, Jake Baskinger, Ryan Madden. They still have a shot here. 11th, 12th, and 13th. Trying to catch up. Drag race to the line between Charles Sanford, Trek Togger. Sanford by about half a truck length leads that lap. Got more cars up ahead. They look like the bright orange car of Marty Johnson. Nope, I'm sorry, that was not. It was Juan Hernandez, Andrew Rich, and Emmanuel Hartnett. Hartnett ran on the tail end of the lead lap in 26th. Rich and Hernandez are both a lap down, 31st, 32nd. Top five have broken away. Sanford, Turner, Togger, Gardner, and Rogers. Juckham all the way back here in 6th. And look at Austin LaPlante, Jake Baskinger, and Ryan Madden. They've taken advantage of these guys being all split up, and now they've gotten themselves up here into the top 10. At 16, 29, 11, all three have not found victory lane yet. They can keep this up, and now they've got Rocco Twyman and Wade Brummer with them. Maybe they can reel in this front group. And this front group's going to have to deal with some traffic here momentarily, which could also play into the benefit of those drivers from about 7th on back. Smoke up ahead there. Someone ran into trouble. Don't know who it was. But anyway, we'll go back up here to the leaders who are now caught in traffic. Charles Sanford jumps to the high side with Johnny Gardner to try and get around. Jesse Turner boxed in. Trek Togger boxed in. It's not good for these guys, but it's awfully good for Emmett Juckham on back. Andrew Rich now jumps up high. He's going to block Charles Sanford. Jesse Turner might be able to forge a way through the middle if he can get to the high side of Emmett Juckham. Or not Emmett Juckham, sorry, Emmanuel Hartnett. As they come to the line, Sanford, Gardner trying to produce some speed there on the high side to get around Andrew Rich. And Sanford, he's going to clear Andrew Rich there, heading out of turn 2. Jesse Turner trying to do the same. Zach Rogers, Johnny Gardner, they're all trying to use the high line to get around. Trek Togger's found a way to the inside. And he'll move into 3rd place behind Jesse Turner. Zach Rogers now finds that low line with him. Johnny Gardner's the lone man out, still boxed up on the outside line. 5 to go. Next time by, Charles Sanford leads. Trek Togger now to the inside of his teammate for 2nd. Zach Rogers there in 4th position. Johnny Gardner still boxed in. Andrew Rich in front. Emmanuel Hartnett to the inside. Now clears Hartnett. And I thought this second group might produce enough speed to catch back up, but apparently not. This time by, how far back are they? They actually lost some ground. Lost about 3/10 on the front pack. I thought that getting caught up with this traffic might slow them up, but maybe it helped them produce a little bit more speed with the draft. I don't know. Here comes Trek Togger to the inside of Charles Sanford for the lead. No drafting help. Now here comes some drafting help in the form of Johnny Gardner. And Gardner now dives to the inside for 2nd place. Charles Sanford doing a lot of mirror driving right now. Trying to pick up his first win of the season and back-to-back wins for Team B. Could be the 4th win of the season with a 4th different driver for Team B if Sanford can close the deal. His teammate Zach Rogers won last week at Charlotte. First race of the season won by Carson Gum, and then 3rd race of the season won by John Arndt. More machines up ahead they'll have to deal with. Gabriel Wanderley, last car on the lead lap in 25th, is the next one they'll encounter. Trek Togger is going to try and clear Charles Sanford for the lead before they get to him. Jesse Turner now moving into the third position underneath Johnny Gardner. And Zach Rogers, well, he was trying to get under Andrew Rich. Rich tries to throw the block on him. Now can't do it because Zach Rogers is there. Togger to the lead, but here comes Jesse Turner for the top position. Both these drivers want to win. And John Arndt, Holden Gluba, they're going to be the next ones that are going to be encountered here, as I think Wanderley might have come to pit road. Oh, nope, they already bypassed him. I didn't see that they'd already blown by the 14. 3 laps to go here at Tennessee. Here comes Trek Togger back to the inside line, and these two better look in the rearview mirror because here comes last week's winner, Zach Rogers, looking for back-to-back victories. Zach Rogers comes into this race 4th in the point standings, and with the hardship James Qualls has had today, and the fact that Holden Gloob is about to go a lap down, this could be the perfect time to pounce for Drivers' Championship for Zach Rogers. Zach Rogers, Holden Gluba, pretty much you could consider rivals. 2 of them were battling tooth and nail at Bristol a couple of weeks ago. As Trek Togger will fight his way through traffic, Jesse Turner following him, along with Charles Sanford, Johnny Gardner, and Zach Rogers. They now go by Kyle Matthews, who is off the pace. Slow is the 00. Not certain why, unless he might have been one of the drivers we saw that phantom smoke that came from. I don't know. 2 laps to go. Right there in your shot. Those are the 5 drivers to settle it. You got Togger, Jesse Turner, Johnny Gardner, Zach Rogers, Charles Sanford. 2 of those drivers have already been to victory lane this season. Gardner winning the first race, or make that the second dual race at Eldora. Zach Rogers winning last week at Charlotte. Trek Togger, Jesse Turner, Charles Sanford, all 3 trying to find victory lane for the first time this season. And now it's mano a mano. Trek Togger, Johnny Gardner at the moment, as Zach Rogers, Charles Sanford, and Jesse Turner all had a little bit of trouble getting around the James Shelley machine. Here comes Gardner to the inside line. The good news for Trek Togger, though, is he has a teammate in Jesse Turner, but Turner's going to go for himself. He's going to go 3 wide down here in the front straightaway. White flag displayed one more time around this racetrack. Jesse Turner, 3 wide with Johnny Gardner and Trek Togger. Here comes Sanford. Here comes Zach Rogers. Where are they going to go with their run? Jesse Turner to the lead. Down the back straightaway they come. Here comes Sanford to the bottom. Zach Rogers looking through the middle. Sanford going to clear for the lead, at least for now. James Shelley is not on the lead lap in the 40 machine, but could play a factor. Charles Sanford's clear, and they're 3 wide for second behind him. Coming out of the final corner for the final time, Sanford scampering away. And Charles Sanford will come to the line and capture his first win of the season here at Tennessee Super Speedway. Zach Rogers just barely nipped it at the line for second. Trek Togger third. Jesse Turner fourth, and Gardner will get fifth. The top 5 were separated by less than half a second at the line. But Charles Sanford will give Team B back-to-back victories and becomes the 4th different driver for Team B to go to victory lane here this season. And could this win put them back in the championship hunt? And Team B, who's just been dominating this season, gets another 1-2 finish. Race standings are now finally official. Charles Sanford is officially your winner. Zach Rogers, what a follow-up finish after his win last week at Charlotte, 2nd place. Trek Togger, Jesse Turner, great representation for Team D today. 3rd and 4th, Johnny Gardner, the only representative for Team A even inside the top 15, as he'll get 5th. Rocco Twyman there in 6th, Jake Baskinger in 7th, 8th Wade Brummer, 9th place for Austin LaPlaya, and completing the top 10 was Emmett Juckham. And we talked about how Team C was reeling in. Team A came in only 11 points back in team standings. Well, look who finished in the top 15 for Team C. Baskinger, LaPlante, Madden, Gipe, Acavito, and Seth Cole. Who finished in the top 15 for Team A? Only Johnny Gardner. Team C may take second in the point standings for team points after today's race. Zach Rogers is also going to put a big chunk, a big dent in the points lead that Holden Gluba held over him coming into this race. Same for Austin LaPlante as they get second and ninth today. Gluba finished the race officially in the 24th position, and James Qualls finished off the lead lap, 2 laps down I believe, in the 33rd position. So Qualls may be fading from view in this championship battle. Austin LaPlante and Zach Rogers may be the late emergences here late in the season. Drivers have finished out of the race. Tavian Alexander, Kyle Keith, James Richardson, Armando Shazaz, Dylan Young, Benjamin Miles. It's really going to hurt the both of them as they finished in 38th, 39th, and Chris Dowd out of the race in 40th position. So Team B, I don't want to make predictions yet, but right now I don't think anybody can hold a candle to the entire Team B. They have just been dominant ever since the start of the season when Carson Gum dominated at Daytona. But anything can happen. There still are 2 more races to go. But anyway, congratulations to Team B's Charles Samper on winning here today at Tennessee. If you enjoyed today's race, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. There's your full finishing results from today's event. We'll now show you your driver point standings and your team points heading into next week, which will be the penultimate round, round number 9, before we end up crowning our champions in the final week 10. Once again, you've been watching a production of the NRSL, T.G.I Fatal 4-Way Truck Series on the NRSL Sports Channel, offline racing at its best.